What is up, everybody? We are back with a review. And this time we're doing Loki, season one. Season one. So, we're gonna start off talking about this Loki, the entire season, my thoughts and opinions, and maybe a little debate at the end. So we're ready to get right into it, honestly. So, I'm gonna be honest with you. I just go ahead and kick this thing off. I got plenty to say, so let me say. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. So Loki, out of the three Disney Plus shows thus far, Loki has taken the number one spot for me. And I was very much surprised because Captain America, I keep saying that. Falcon and the Winter Soldier was the number one. And of course, WandaVision was last. But Loki, every episode, to me, it got better, just like the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It was doing this thing where episode 1 was good, episode 2 got better, episode 3 was pretty good also, and it just keeps like gradually getting better, right? So, by episode 6 of Loki, oh my god, blew my mind away. I was just surprised that they even revealed Jonathan Majors' character, the Kane character. Man, listen, y'all, this to me, I was just mind blown that they even did that in the Disney Plus shows. So I'm gonna start off by saying that for me, the best thing about Loki itself was just its consistency. Throughout the entire 6 episodes, it had a very consistent way of like keeping you engaged. And for me personally, Loki is not at all like my favorite character. Like, I don't really enjoy the Loki character. So one thing I really have to give credit to when it comes to Marvel is, I think I've said this in a past video, is that they know how to make a character you're not interested in. They know how to make that character become more interesting to you. And watching this, oh my god, like every episode, I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and tune into Loki as soon as I wake up in the morning, or before I get ready for work, things like that. I really liked Owen Wilson's character, Morbius' character. He was funny, he was cool, had great chemistry. I like the alternate versions of Loki. I know episode 5 to me was probably my least favorite out of all 6, even though I think they were all good. I like the classic Loki. I didn't really care for the King Loki, which was the kid Loki. I didn't really care for the crocodile or the alligator Loki or the black Loki. I just thought those were a few unnecessary Lokis. But nonetheless, I still think that the alternate versions of Loki was still interesting to see. I did enjoy the Sylvie Loki. I thought she was cool. I actually liked her the moment I saw her because I thought she was pretty cool to me. Her costume was a little, at first, it kind of like, it just, I don't know how I felt about that at first, but that eventually grew on me. I liked her powers. I like both of their power sets. Also, I like that they expanded their power sets. I thought that was pretty interesting because we didn't really get much of Loki's power set other than like his magic was just very much used as a way to deceive people often. That's usually what we got. Or he just pop his knives or his swords out or whatever. So that's that. I definitely like just the whole timeline of like the TVA, like that whole storyline was very interesting to me. So all in all, I really just enjoyed this series, and it has, like I said, taken my number one spot, and I really have to say that. A couple things I want to mention though is the theme song for Loki. I think is fucking fire. I don't know if I said fuck. I should say fucking, but I thought the theme song for Loki was very. Hold on, I didn't hear you. Hold on one second. It was very. I'm gonna lose my train of thought. It was very catchy though. It was catchy. It was very like a dramatic like type of music, which was very like entertaining. So I really gotta give it up to like the musical score for like the Loki show also. And the last thing I want to mention is the reveal at the end, which was Jonathan Majors' character, the Kane character. And so like when the elevator door opens or whatever, or the door opens or whatever, and we see the character, I was thoroughly surprised that they showed him. I couldn't believe it because that this character is supposed to be a villain in the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania movie. So the fact that you're dealing with time, everybody like was assuming, oh, is they going to show Kane? Are they going to show Kane? No, they won't show Kane because WandaVision didn't. I don't want to spoil anything if anyone hasn't seen WandaVision, but people were upset about WandaVision, like their lack of reveals and stuff like that. So when it came to this, the expectation was like, well, I guess we should like wait just in case they don't reveal it, we won't get our hopes up too high. So I understood that. So like I said, when they did show King, I was blown away instantly. I could not believe it. It was crazy to me. One thing I liked is that they showed one version of King. Because if you ever read like King's comics, with him in the comics, there are like a ton of different versions of King. He like briefly explained that in the episode also. So I really like that we got like just one version of him, and then I'm sure like in the movies going forward, we'll see more versions of him and more versions of like the different type of King, and how he'll be like a much bigger villain, which is, well, he was more of an anti-hero. I don't know, he was weird character, but I'm sure we'll see that going forward. But just looking back, he as a villain, I think he's a very like interesting villain. He even has like this thing where he like has a council called the Council of Kings, where a whole bunch of kings meet up. I just think it's a very interesting villain. I think Jonathan Majors, I don't know how I felt the first time I watched it. I couldn't really like figure out his personality. I was just trying to figure out like if I really enjoyed the way he portrayed this certain version of Kang. But ultimately, like, not to say that it was bad, because it wasn't bad. I just didn't really know how I felt about it just watching. I was like, okay, this is this kind of Kang or whatever it is, and I just really was just like, that was just my immediate reaction to it. But nonetheless, I still think he played the character very interesting. I think he's gonna like go on to like really portray the character in like a very interesting way going forward, I think. So lastly, I'll just say that I think that ultimately the show was really good, and I was like just thoroughly surprised at how good the show was, and I was very surprised at how much this show is changing the entire MCU. That is what I was ultimately surprised about, because I was not expecting that. So that's all my thoughts.
All right. I guess my turn. That's fine.
Yeah.
All right. So what I thought about Loki, when I first heard about it, actually, like, I thought it would be like more like a past Loki, because like, in the movies, he died or whatever, and then like when I saw the intro of the movie, like, sorry, not the movie, the show. When I saw the intro of the show, like, he starts off with that he got the Tesseract. So I was like, oh yeah, that happened in Endgame. So I was like, okay. So from there, like, he I guess like he went back in time or something, or he does something with time or whatever. Like, and then you have the timekeepers, which I never like. To be honest, I never really heard about the timekeepers until now. You know what I mean? So it kind of got me into it a little bit and see what's going on or whatever. And it's kind of interesting. Like, and the timekeeper sounds really powerful. You know what I'm saying? And then you show like the Infinity Stones, which is kind of weird though. I don't know like how they got the Infinity Stones like that, looking so weak. You know what I mean? It's like, it's kind of, you know what I mean? That, to me, I feel like it was kind of weird. But like, I kind of get it, because like you're dealing with time. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, that's kind of powerful, and then like, and he's like really menacing, you know what I mean? He's always menacing and mischievous, the god of mischief, right? And like, this is kind of crazy for him, like, to see like all this power and stuff like that, and so is him. He's trying to be mischievous and stuff like that, which is kind of interesting. But like, which I feel like for him, I feel like he could have like outplayed the group. I'll say my least favorite episode would probably be like episode 3. I didn't really was interested in too much into it, but at the end I kind of see like, okay, they have to like get to know each other and stuff like that, which is kind of interesting. And then I'll say like my other least favorite is probably the one that you said, episode 5, with all the different Lokis and stuff like that, and like, and the alligator Loki, and that was kind of weird. And then you have like the original Loki from the comic books, with the horns, the big horns and stuff like that. It was like kind of weird. But overall though, I thought the show was really good. Other than all the stuff that I said, I feel like it is probably the best show that they came out with, more than Falcon the Winter Soldier and the other one, WandaVision. I think that's good. But at the end of and also the end of the show when he brought out Kang the Conqueror, that's kind of cool too. Like and he's talking about and Kang was talking about like he's like you don't want to see the worst of me, and this is like the weaker Kang or something. Like this is like the not the weaker Kang, but like the more good Kang, right? Which is kind of crazy, right? So it's like now like and then what's it Sylvie when Sylvie killed. I was probably saying too much, right? but Sylvie killed Kang, and which he shouldn't have done. Loki should have like, Loki tried to stop her or whatever, and she still went ahead and do it. I think that she should have like listened to Loki, the original Loki, and and save humanity. But I think Kang he's like I think he's gonna be a really good villain in the future movies and stuff like that. I think he's coming out in Ant-Man and the Wasp, a new one coming out. So he should be really good. Overall though, I like the show. I'm looking forward for season 2, and yeah. So point out as well, I think Kang might have to do something with the What If show as well. I'm not too sure. I feel like because like he's with time and stuff like that and different universes and stuff like that, so I think that might be a thing. So
Okay.
Interesting you say that, because I also felt like the What If and also the Doctor Strange movie coming out with the multiverse, I think is direct correlation with the season finale, because we saw multiple branches of the timeline branching off. As a first-time watcher of the MCU's TV series, I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think my favorite scene was when Mobius was talking to Loki about Lamentus 1. It's like, you complete and utter narcissist. You fell in love with yourself. It's like, that is sick. You're a sick man. Best scene in my opinion for the whole show. As far as the other Lokis, that was a good rendition because it actually drove home what Lokis do best. They survive. And to have the classical Loki to the King Loki, I'm really not familiar with the Black Loki. I was like, all right, he got a hammer, so like, is that his version of Mjolnir? So I got to start deep diving in the comics to figure this out now. But Sylvie was an interesting character because now it's a variant that not only didn't grow up within the walls of Asgard, there's actually a female Loki in a different timeline that has her own adventures and whatnot. And then it was like the new little homages when he was explaining himself, like, can't believe I'm still called He Who Remains. I've been called a Conqueror, which is a nod to his original moniker, Kang the Conqueror. I was like, that's pretty dope, because he giving his name out without giving his name. The only thing I was not so much surprised by is that Sylvie didn't give it a second thought. Loki really considered, like, yo, what is he talking about? There's different versions of him that are, in a quote, stronger than him, in the sense that he doesn't have a moral limiter. What this one did was for the greater good, even though it was messed up. So we had the other ones. What in the HE hockey stick is going to go on? You know, trying to keep it PG. But for Sylvie to go ahead and do that, I was like, well, dang. And then it kind of looked like she regretted her actions afterwards, because he didn't even beg for his life. He just said, I'll see you soon. And I wanted to go back and review this because I just thought about it. When Loki went back to the TVA at the end of the episode, did y'all notice that the statue looked more like Kang instead of a timekeeper? I was like, oh shit, even the TVA was automatically affected. Like, I already knew it was affected when Mobius didn't recognize him, but the fact that he was like looked at the statue and looked just like him. But you know, for first time watchers who are just picking up the MCU, I say Loki really ties in a lot of stuff. Whereas I heard WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier, they kind of just run on. They just with their immediate story. Loki felt like it tied everything together because it literally branches off from the main verse. But you know, that's my 2 cents.
Okay. So, well, I'm glad we got that. I'm glad we heard from each other. So, I mean, I would just like to quickly say that I know that Dorian hasn't seen WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier yet, but you know, to that point though, I will say that me personally, I think that I don't think every TV show or every movie has to have like universal consequences. You know what I mean? Like I was okay with I'm more than okay with like some shows or movies like having like the focus remain like with these characters and like in this pocket of like characters or whatever. Like with the Falcon and Winter Soldier, it may not have had like universal like repercussions, but it did like I think still like it did to me still have like something to look forward to within the MCU itself, you know, which is the Falcon becoming Captain America. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a major thing. And then the Winter Soldier, he will no longer be the Winter Soldier. You know what I mean? He's probably going to be called White Panther, but no, White Wolf or whatever, like he was from the comics going forward. So I mean, I like that aspect of it. So, and then I think the other thing, actually, I actually forgot. So, but yeah, that's just my response on that though. I think I don't know. It's very hard to really put this into words because I just really think that like I said, my last expectation was that the Loki series would have this big a major like MCU consequence. You know what I mean? I was thinking more along the lines that would be like the WandaVision series. You know what I mean? Because everybody was hyping that up to the level that they did, and I was not expecting Loki to have this much of this big of an impact on the MCU. And to like the King statue at the end, like Dorian mentioned, that blew my mind. That one small detail blew my mind. And I think the MCU, Marvel Studios, I think is really good with like small details like that. So
about to go Easter egg hunting.
Yeah, anything else to add? Anybody, Matt? Oh, can I say something? Because I remember you said the Sylvie thing when she stabbed Kane. Mm-hmm. So I think it's more interesting that she stabbed. I was kind of hoping she did because I did want to see like the craziness of everything that's gonna happen. I think her character, like growing up her whole life with this one mission, I can see her wanting to I can see her wanting to be like, wait, no, I'm gonna think about it. No, like this is what she's done. Like her whole life, she's worked her way up to this. So I couldn't see her like taking time to like think about it. You know what I mean?
But that's the thing though. It kind of confused me a little bit because like especially when she kissed him, I was like, wait, so I guess she's not gonna do it. And I was like, and then she does it. It's kind of surprising for me, but I do agree though. Yeah, it wouldn't be surprising for her to do that, to kill him. But
yeah, I mean, like, granted, he did say like, hey, I wanted somebody to take my job for a long time. I'm an old man. I may not look it, but I'm old. And it just so happened you two for the same person, which I feel like it was another play on words, because if you think about it, you could think about it in multiple ways. Loki and Sylvia are one and the same person, two sides of a coin, yin and yang, Adam and Eve, all that mumbo jumbo that ties in with that to take over one person's job. So they would have been the perfect balance for each other. Where you see Loki always been mischievous the whole time, become more logical, methodical, and calculating, and actually taking everything he hears, where Sylvie now becomes the emotional side of him. And like, it played out so well because, like, yeah, you kind of want Sylvie to listen, take over the job, make sure the multiverse is okay. But at the same time, her job is now to be emotional side of Loki. So of course she's gonna react with nothing but emotion. Not saying like it's perpetrating like the quote unquote gender roles and whatnot. It's just she been emotional this whole time and ripped away from her childhood. Shoot, I think everybody ripped away from their childhood. They're gonna be mad about that. So I'm gonna need the answer for that. So
True.
I can see it going that way.
Yeah, I mean, So I'm just thoroughly surprised. I mean, my final thoughts are just that I think that the show was really good. I mean, I'd probably give it a solid 9 out of 10. What about y'all?
For me, I would have to say like 9 out of 10 for me. Yeah.
I say on a Rotten Tomato scale, probably like a 27. Cause the lower the score, the better the show. You know what I'm saying?
I said a 9 out of 10. This man said. This man said on a Rotten Tomato scale. What about out of 9 out of 10?
Out of 10, I give it an 8, just because I feel like they could have flushed out a little bit more. Like, even though they're the same person, they could have flushed out a little more of the interactions between them to lead them up to the kiss. Like, yeah, it's implied and like use content clues, but honestly, besides getting the 10th pad fixed and getting off of Lamentis, they didn't really speak that much. Besides trying to kill each other. Well, Sylvie trying to kill him.
Okay. Well, I mean, the kiss worked for me. So the kiss worked for me if I had seen the male Loki initiate the kiss. When I saw the female Loki initiate the kiss, I was a little like, okay, I didn't know she was feeling this like Loki was feeling it. I mean, I think she was, but it wasn't as obvious as it was like with the male Loki. You know what I mean?
Loki...
You knew that.
Yeah, go ahead.
You knew that he liked her. Yeah, but I just say you knew that he liked her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel like Loki was the male Loki was liking more than her than she was liking him. That's what it kind of looked like.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, in the end, I think the kiss probably still worked for me only because I feel like she needed that way because they are master manipulators, right? She needed that to manipulate him to like distract him. So I think that's why it worked for me. You know what I'm saying? She had to like not get him off his guard. You know what I mean? So mainly so she can get to Kang. So that's how I think. That's how I feel about it. Maybe, but
so is Kang? So is Kang going to be like the main villain now? The main villain?
So
I think he's gonna be like the final boss. I think that's how it's gonna set up.
So I don't think he's gonna be the big MCU villain like Thanos level.
Maybe.
Well, we don't even know, but I don't think it'll be Kang. But I do think Kang is gonna still have like a pretty decent sized role. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't think he'll be Thanos level where like they all have to team up. I don't think it'll be like that. But I also, if it hypothetically, if it was, I could still see that too because to me, Kang is that dope of like a villainy type of character because he's just so like it's so many of him for one. Yeah. And how do you defeat a person that literally like manipulates time? You know what I mean? That knows all possibilities. You know what I mean? So he could definitely play that type of role, but
So I can see him as a final boss for Loki overall. Like with the MCU, I can see him becoming the main antag for Loki. Like if we stick with following this variant of Loki that's predominantly good natured and not as mischievous, I can see him, fighting this ultimate version of Kang because Sylvie is still in the same mansion where she killed Kang. So who's to say that that's not where like the Council of Kang normally are when the timeline was separate? So there's a good chance that he gotta go back and possibly save Sylvie or Sylvie escape, or I don't see Sylvie being written off anytime soon, especially with they have a season 2 coming around the corner.
Yeah, no, I definitely don't. I don't see that either. I think they already like. I mean, I think the audience for the most part is probably like shipping these two together now because like they work really good together. You know what I'm saying? So.
Now, if she is written off, I can see it. Whereas, Loki coming back for Sylvie, and then the evil Kang just comes up straight up murking her, and now he got a reason to actually come after him.
Well, he is gonna be the main villain for Ant-Man and the Wasp, so I don't know if he'll be the season 2 Loki villain because they just kind of did that sort of. So I don't think they'll do it again. So that's why I don't. That's why if I'm like guessing, I don't think he'll be the season 2 villain. That's my guess though, because they usually don't do it like. I don't know if I like seen the MCU sort of like use like repeat villains for like the same like show or same like movie like for 1 and 2 or 3. You know what I'm saying? No, okay, but that's Thanos. That's the entire big bad. I'm talking about like specifically like for like like for like Ant-Man, because he's gonna be the big bad for Ant-Man and the Wasp. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think they're gonna at least show him though in season 2. Maybe like a little like a snippet or something.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that too because I mean they left off on like a cliffhanger with Kang, the Kang stuff. So
yeah, so they're gonna do something. But I just wonder what the villain would be for season 2. I don't know.
I mean, I at this point I trust the MCU and Kevin Feige honestly. So I know I'm sure it's in good hands honestly. All right, is that anything else? We're good.
I think we're good on that subject.
Yeah.
All right. This was our spoiler review of Loki season 1.